Stepmom tried to steal my college fund and got me kicked out with false accusations. I, 18M, am in a difficult situation with my stepmom Megan, 40F, regarding my college fund, and I'm starting to question everything. This is a long and complicated situation, so bear with me. My parents divorced when I was 10. It was a messy split that left me feeling lost and alone for a long time. My dad, 45M, remarried Megan when I was 14, and she brought two kids from her previous marriage into our family, Jack, 16M, and Emma, 13F. The transition wasn't easy, and we've never really felt like a cohesive family unit, despite Megan's constant efforts to push the one big happy family narrative. I've always been a good student, maintaining a 3.8 GPA throughout high school. My dream is to attend a prestigious university and study engineering. I've participated in the robotics club, where I've won several competitions, and I've volunteered at the local animal shelter for the past 3 years. Dad has always been supportive of my academic goals, at least until recently. A few months ago, as I was starting to apply to colleges, Dad sat me down for a talk. He told me about a substantial college fund he'd been saving for me since I was born. It's enough to cover tuition and living expenses at most top universities. I was thrilled, feeling like my hard work was paying off and my dreams were within reach. We spent hours that night talking about different universities, discussing programs, and planning campus visits. It was one of the best conversations I'd had with Dad in years. But then Megan found out about the college fund, and everything changed. At first, it was subtle. One morning, she cornered me in the kitchen after Dad had left for work. Her tone seemed casual, but there was an edge to her words. She said things like, "When I was your age, I worked my way through college, took out loans, and worked part-time jobs. It really taught me the value of money." I tried to brush it off, telling her that I was planning to get a part-time job too, to cover extra expenses. But Megan replied, "But you don't really need to, do you? Not with all that money just being handed to you." From that point on, Megan's comments became more frequent and pointed. At dinner, she started bringing up stories of self-made individuals, always with a pointed look in my direction. She'd talk about her friend's son, who's working 3 jobs to pay for his engineering degree, or her cousin, who paid off her student loans in record time and is now a successful entrepreneur. These stories became a regular feature at our dinner table, always accompanied by comments about responsibility and the value of hard work. Dad would nod along, seemingly oblivious to the implication that I was somehow less responsible or hardworking for accepting his help. The worst part is Megan started to manipulate Dad. I overheard her talking to him about how giving me the money might stop my growth or make me dependent. She kept pushing the idea that I should work my way through college or take out loans like everyone else. One evening, I overheard them talking in their bedroom. Megan was saying, "I'm just worried about him, honey. Giving him all that money. Don't you think it might make him lazy? Maybe we should consider reducing the fund or only paying for tuition, but not living expenses." To my horror, Dad replied that he had always planned to help me with college, but acknowledged that Megan might have a point about the value of working for things. Since then, Dad has started to waver. He's made comments about maybe reducing the fund or only paying for tuition but not living expenses. It's like he's forgotten all our previous conversations about my future and all his promises of support. Last week, things came to a head when I overheard Megan talking to Jack in the kitchen. I was heading to my room when I heard Megan say, "Don't worry about college, honey. I'm working on getting some of your stepbrother's college fund redirected to your future. It's not fair that he gets such a large sum when you and Emma won't." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Not only was Megan trying to take away my college fund, but she was actively working to give it to her own kids. The injustice of it made me see red. Without thinking, I stormed into the kitchen and confronted her. Megan's eyes widened in surprise. "Were you eavesdropping?" she asked. I was too angry to care about her accusation. "What do you mean you're working on my college fund? That's money Dad's been saving for me since I was born," I yelled. Megan's expression hardened. "I'm simply trying to ensure that all the children in this family are treated fairly," she said. "It's not right for you to get such a large sum when Jack and Emma won't have the same opportunity." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "But it's not your money to redistribute," I argued. "Dad saved that for me long before you were even in the picture." Megan got angry and said, "Watch your tone, young man. You're being incredibly selfish right now. Have you even considered your step-siblings' futures?" From here, the situation spiraled out of control. Megan accused me of being ungrateful and selfish. The argument ended with her storming off and me retreating to my room. Later, she twisted the situation to Dad, claiming I had been aggressive and disrespectful toward her. Eventually, Megan escalated things by accusing me of making inappropriate advances toward her. It was a complete lie, but Dad believed her. He told me I had until the end of the week to leave the house. Despite my protests and attempts to defend myself, he sided with Megan. I've since moved out and am staying with my friend Mike. His family has been incredibly supportive, offering me a place to stay while I figure things out. I've reached out to my grandparents on my dad's side, who are now questioning Megan's story and promising to intervene. The situation has left me heartbroken and angry. My dreams of attending my dream university now hang by a thread. I'm working part-time and trying to apply for scholarships and loans to make it happen. I feel betrayed by my dad and hurt that he chose to believe Megan's lies over me. If anyone has advice or has been through something similar, I'd appreciate any guidance. I'm determined to move forward, but this experience has shaken me to my core. It's been about a month since my last post, and unfortunately, things have gone from bad to worse. I'm still staying at my friend Mike's house, and while his family has been incredible, I know I can't stay here forever. His parents have been supportive, but I feel like a burden. Megan's accusations have spread beyond just Dad. She's now telling extended family members her fabricated version of events, painting me as some kind of predator. My grandparents on Dad's side initially questioned her story, but have since started to waver under the weight of her lies. I overheard through mutual relatives that Megan has been contacting Jack and Emma's father, who she had an affair with, to try to strengthen her position in this situation. It's all so calculated and cruel. I've spoken to my mom more frequently now. She's furious about what's happening and has repeatedly offered for me to move in with her. She lives in another state, which complicates things. Moving in with her would mean giving up on my dream of attending my top choice university nearby. It's not a decision I want to make lightly, but the more toxic this situation becomes, the more appealing her offer sounds. I've also reached out to my dad's parents for help. While they were initially skeptical of Megan's story, I could sense their hesitation to fully support me. They've promised to speak with Dad and try to mediate the situation, but I'm not optimistic. Megan has clearly manipulated Dad to such an extent that he refuses to believe anything that challenges her narrative. 2 weeks after my last update, I received a call from my grandparents on Dad's side. They were concerned because Dad had told them I'd left home and made accusations against Megan. They wanted to hear my side of the story, so I explained everything: the college fund, Megan's interference, her false accusations, and my being kicked out. To my relief, they believed me. They said they'd noticed a change in Dad since Megan entered his life, but had dismissed it as him trying to adjust to a new marriage. Now, they realized how manipulative Megan had been. My grandparents assured me they'd confront Dad and Megan about this, and they promised to support me however they could. Their words gave me a glimmer of hope, but I was still wary. A few days later, my grandparents called me again, furious. They'd confronted Dad and Megan, and in the heat of the argument, Megan let slip that she'd been planning to redirect part of my college fund to Jack and Emma's college expenses. When my grandparents demanded an explanation, Megan doubled down, claiming it was for the good of the family. Dad, unbelievably, continued to defend her. It's been another month, and things have taken a dramatic turn. My dad finally discovered the full extent of Megan's lies. After repeated pressure from my grandparents, Dad decided to investigate further. He found evidence of Megan's affair with her ex-husband, Jack, and Emma's father. This was the breaking point. Megan had been rekindling her relationship with her ex for months while orchestrating her manipulative schemes against me. Dad confronted Megan, and the confrontation didn't go well. Megan initially denied everything, but when faced with undeniable proof, she finally admitted to the affair. She also confessed to fabricating the accusations against me to get me out of the house and ensure her kids could benefit from the college fund. Her motive? To secure her children's future and position herself financially, knowing her marriage to Dad might not last. Dad is devastated. He's filed for divorce and cut ties with Megan, but the damage to our relationship is profound. He's apologized to me repeatedly, saying he was blinded by Megan's manipulation. While I appreciate his apology, it doesn't erase the months of pain and betrayal I endured. Jack and Emma have also reached out to me, apologizing for not supporting me earlier. They admitted their mom had fed them lies about me, convincing them I was trying to sabotage their family. They're struggling to come to terms with the truth about their mother, and I can't help but feel sorry for them. They were pawns in Megan's game, just like me. With Megan out of the picture, Dad is trying to rebuild our relationship. He's promised to restore the college fund and ensure I can attend my dream university. While I want to believe him, part of me is still hesitant. But trusting him after everything that's happened is going to take time. My grandparents have been incredibly supportive, offering to help cover any gaps in my college expenses. They've also urged me to consider therapy to process everything I've been through. I think they're right. I need help to navigate the emotional fallout of this nightmare. Megan's actions have left a trail of destruction, but I'm determined to move forward. I've secured a part-time job and am continuing to work on scholarship applications. Dad has started attending therapy sessions with me to address the strain on our relationship. It's going to be a long road, but I'm hopeful we can eventually rebuild what's been broken. As for Megan, she's facing legal battles related to the divorce and the financial manipulation she attempted. My dad's lawyer has suggested pursuing criminal charges for fraud, given the evidence of her schemes. I don't know what will happen to her, but I'm done letting her control my life. Thank you to everyone who offered advice and support. This journey has been incredibly challenging, but knowing I wasn't alone gave me strength. I'll provide more updates as things develop, but for now, I'm focusing on my future, one step at a time.